CTV News with Caroline Van Vlartigan.
Good evening. The man who drove his bus into a daycare center in Laval 3 years ago, killing 2 children and injuring half a dozen others, was deemed a high-risk offender today. Pierre Saint-Amand will be kept off the streets indefinitely. But even though he will not be free, the families of those children say their ordeal continues. Here's Kelly Gregg.
It's been more than 3 years since a Laval city bus rammed into the side of this daycare. 2 children were killed and 6 others injured.
I'm really happy he's going to be behind bars and it's going to be more complicated for him to get out. It's not for me. My daughter, she experienced him once, but we never know who would have been next.
Last April, Pierre Saint-Amand was found not criminally responsible for the crash, with Judge Eric Downs ruling he was undergoing a psychotic episode, a decision that left families disappointed.
On a appris à vivre avec des drames.
We learned to live with a sense of injustice, said Father Sébastien Courtois.
Well, it's obviously hard because we are justice officers, we are lawyers, but we're also humans, and we know what emotions they go through.
Saint-Amand's status as a high-risk offender will make any potential release much more complicated. Any changes to it or his treatment will have to go through Quebec Superior Court. Eric Sutton is a criminal defense attorney not related to this case.
It's a very restrictive finding. Really, it ensures that he will remain confined unless released for very specific medical reasons.
In his 103-page ruling, Downs described the nature of the crimes as brutal.
It's much worse when you look at the vulnerability of the people involved. These are children in a daycare where you hope they will be safe.
While this is the final step in court, families say it's far from over for them. They've been struggling to access resources like psychiatrists.
He received everything for his support, but we don't. We have to find a psychologist in 2025-26 is very hard. EVAC doesn't give not even half of the price.
The defense argued deeming Saint-Amand a high-risk offender would violate his constitutional rights, a claim the judge shot down.
We cannot change the past, but at least, please, not let him do something else again. That's the bare minimum. I'm happy, but that's the bare minimum.
The family's adding this may have all started 3 years ago, but it's a case they'll have to live with forever. Kelly Gregg, CTV News, Laval.
Meantime, a man is facing charges after he allegedly attacked a hockey referee this weekend. 2 referees were attacked at a minor league hockey game in Chaudière-Appalaches Saturday night. It happened at the rink in Lac-Etchemin and was caught on video. The officials had just left the ice when they were shoved to the ground by a man. Other people can be seen running over to try to stop the incident. One referee suffered a minor shoulder injury, and a 39-year-old man was arrested.
I can't understand why in 2026, after all the cases, all education and awareness programs we had in the last years, we still have stories like this. It doesn't make sense to me, especially for a junior D game, minor hockey, doesn't make sense. A reaction like this we saw in this video must come with sanctions. So first, this father should be banned from the arena. And
the man was released on a promise to appear in court at a later date. And there is more news about this story on our website. There was a fire at a home in NDG last night. It began around midnight in the basement of a home on Mayfair near Terrebonne. One person was treated for smoke inhalation. The fire was brought under control very quickly. The MUHC is being accused of having a toxic work environment. And the union representing the technical service employees is also worried about a move towards the use of more private companies. Matt Grillo on that.
Outside the Montreal General's emergency department, one union held a midday protest, an opportunity to speak out about what they say is a toxic work environment.
People cannot speak out. Anytime you speak out, you're going to be pointed out, and then you're going to be targeted.
He says employees like plumbers, electricians, and carpenters are scared to speak out, and the CSN union says managers lack respect towards employees. It's leading to resignations and other leaves.
People are leaving the department because they're not respected, because the way they speak to them, and also the fear of reprisal. That's why they are leaving the department.
The union says those employees who do leave are often replaced by private subcontractors.
The jobs could be done by the workers from MUHC. The direction the bosses prefer to send them the subcontract those jobs, which makes so that it costs a lot more money than it would if it were like unionized in-house workers that would do it.
In a lengthy statement, the MUHC said, in certain sectors, the MUHC also has legal and operational obligations to ensure 24/7 coverage to guarantee the safety of patients, staff, and hospital facilities. In these circumstances, the use of contracted services may be necessary. The hospital goes on to say, claims that the MUHC is deliberately seeking to replace its workers with external firms are inaccurate and do not reflect the reality of our practices. Within the union, there is a real concern that it won't only be technical service jobs being replaced by private companies.
Yes, technical service is a problem right now, but I think down the line they're going to try to go mostly all departments. They did it with laundry. I think maybe in a couple of years it might be the whole hospital under private use.
They hope by speaking out and holding more protests like this, the public will be made aware of what they say is going on. Matt Grillo, CTV News.
Ensemble Montreal promised to clean up the city and make it safer if elected. Well, now the City of Montreal is promising a larger and longer spring cleaning operation than in years past. But the blue-collar workers say that's easier said than done. Anastasia Dextrine reports.
This spring, Montreal's executive committee is promising a fresh start, and they say it begins with cleaner streets.
With temperature rising, we're already seeing trash that is being buried under the snow start to appear. That's why we're presenting our spring plan to you today.
Committee Chair Claude Pinard says it's a collaboration with the city's 19 boroughs, and the cleanup will start earlier this year. The first crews are set to hit the streets this week, as opposed to the usual start dates in April and June. The change will have cleaners at work for 25% longer than in previous years.
When it comes to cleanliness, it was a broken contract between the previous administration and the citizen. In this contract, we want to restore it.
The city is also ending a plant administration pilot project before it begins. The proposal was to remove garbage bins from La Fontaine Park.
We were not elected on this. This is not our vision for Montreal. We said we wanted a cleaner city. We want iconic areas like Chinatown and downtown to be clean, safe, and welcoming.
For the post-winter cleanup, the administration is enlisting roughly 50 mechanical sweepers, 30 watering trucks, and sidewalk cleaners to restore Montreal's shine. While the spring plan sounds nice, Guillaume Dupont-Croteau from the union representing blue-collar workers says its success will require more manpower and attention to equipment maintenance.
We're waiting for some action. It's easy to say there'll be 25% more time, but we have hundreds of blue-collar workers at home.
But when it comes to cleaning up, Montrealers say everyone in the city should do their part.
I'm a very clean person in general. In my house, it's very important for me. Here,
we can't only count on municipality. We can't rely on it. We have a responsibility. We should do it, as we have the same responsibility in our own house.
Anastasia Dextrine, CTV News.
There's been a lot of talk about AI's reliability for a number of things, and this week Montreal is holding its first ever hackathon, which aims to use AI for mental health. At issue is the question, can artificial intelligence be trusted to help young people's mental health? Teams are competing to train chatbots to better handle sensitive conversations and provide support. The event is being conducted in conjunction with Kids Health Phone, a service that was used nearly 4 million times last year.
Sometimes they don't feel safe talking to a human. Sometimes they're not ready to talk to a human. Sometimes the supports actually aren't available to them. The wait lists are too long. They don't know where to turn. So it becomes a really intuitive and really frictionless space to start a conversation.
And the initiative is being organized by Bell Canada, which is CTV's parent company, and the winners will be announced March 27th. Tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day, and the big parade takes place this coming Sunday. And as Stéphane Giroux reports, it will have a theme aimed at the little leprechauns in the city.
The Queen and Princesses have been selected. The Grand Marshal is ready to move, and the traditional St. Patrick's Day parade is getting ready to roll.
This year we have a theme of Little Shamrocks, Big Dreams, so it's all about the kids. Our Grand Marshal is part of the Shriners, and so he's also all about the kids. And
the parade had to change routes in recent years because of construction on St. Catherine Street. Organizers say using Maisonneuve eastbound has become the de facto route.
Yeah, we've been on it now for, I believe it's 3 years now. And we're liking it, the people are liking it, and it's new.
It's a different vibe.
Yes, it's a different vibe.
The City of Montreal says the parade has come to define the city and will spare no expense to make sure it runs smoothly again.
You don't fix something that ain't broken, as they say. The United Irish Societies have been doing this for so long. They know how to do it, and they bring in every culture, so you're going to see Montreal at its best. Whether it's Irish, Greek, Latino, I mean, go through the list. Everyone's Irish.
But beyond the party, security remains a constant concern. Organizers are discreet about the measures that will be put in place.
So everybody's working closely to make sure that it's safe and it's secure.
And with the weather expected to be at around 0 degrees, organizers hope people will come out in large numbers.
It doesn't really matter what happens because people still show up.
The parade kicks off at noon Sunday. Stéphane Giroux, CTV News.
Weather brought to you by Gratian Scaff. Second pair is a gift event including designer frames. A second pair free for limited time.
Well, looking at our current weather now, we have mild temperatures. It's about between 9 and 11 degrees right now in Montreal. Tomorrow morning is looking to be quite windy and cooler again with temperatures back in the minus columns. And there will be clouds as well that will be throughout the day. But then we will finally see the sun on Wednesday with rain most of the rest of the week, but milder temperatures returning. And finally, a warning for dangerous heavy rains and winds west of the city overnight has been lifted. The mayor of Vaudreuil says they are monitoring water levels, which are normal right now, but they are not concerned about flooding at this time. And still ahead, an Oscar-winning filmmaker that gave a pearl to Montreal last night.
For breaking news and local news that matters to you, download the CTV News app right now by scanning the QR code on your screen using your smartphone. Or you can also go to our website, ctvnewsmontreal.ca.
A Canadian animated short won an Oscar last night. The Girl Who Cried Pearls is not only a victory for the Montreal-based directors, but also for Montreal's entire animation scene. Denise Roberts has more.
And the Oscar goes to The Girl Who Cried Pearls.
For Chris Lavis and Maciek Sherbowski, it was a night years in the making.
People think it takes patience to take 5 years to make a puppet film. It actually takes patience to live with someone who takes 5 years to make a puppet film.
Their film, The Girl Who Cried Pearls, not only won the Oscar, but many fans, including Steven Spielberg, who they met backstage.
We are so grateful for what he said. It made our day.
It was also a big night for Montreal. The city, which plays a starring role in their film, has been foundational in their careers.
Thank you, the fantastic city of Montreal. Thank you, Canada. Canada!
The day after, the magic of the moment hasn't worn off.
When we talk about last night, we're still talking about today.
The film tells a story of an impoverished boy who falls in love with a girl next door, whose sorrows produce tears that turn into pearls. Narrated by Comfior and scored by Montrealer Patrick Watson, it was funded by the National Film Board of Canada and leaned heavily on local talent, including from Concordia University.
Most of the animation work that you're seeing was done by Concordia graduates.
Luigi Alamano says Lavis and Sherbowski grew up in Montreal's small but strong animation community and are now mentoring the next generation of independent independent creators.
You can actually work on your own stories and tell your own personal point of view and still have, a viable career and be acknowledged on the same stage as these other really big corporate studios.
The directors say they don't expect the Oscar to open any doors, but it will carry them into their next project.
It's an honor to be working within our tiny little funny sandbox, just lousy with talent.
And they say more funding is needed to keep this scene alive.
That funding that the National Film Board has a ripple effect across the whole culture.
And putting Montreal in the spotlight. Denise Roberts, CTV News.
It was another busy weekend in sports, and here to look at what happened is RDS sports analyst Meeker Guerrier. So, Meeker, we have to talk about the Habs back-to-back games, and they did make a bit of a change on Saturday when Brendan Gallagher was a healthy scratch, but he was back on the ice yesterday. What are we going to make of all this?
Yeah, your favorite player, Caroline. We talked about it last week, and you even, I have to tell people, I have to be very honest, you even emailed me during the weekend saying, well, Brendan Gallagher is a healthy scratch. What's going on? I'm sorry. And we talked about it last week, and I told you that I thought that Brendan Gallagher brought a lot of energy and a lot of passion to the Habs, and you could see exactly that on Saturday against the Sharks. At some point, the Montreal Canadiens didn't have a lot of passion. They were lacking intensity. And yesterday, when Brendan Gallagher came back, yes, it was a second loss, but you could see what he brought to that team. The intensity he brought while the players or the team wasn't playing up to par against the Ducks. Unfortunately, those are 2 losses. But now with Kirby Dach injured, maybe for a while, we might see Brendan Gallagher regularly on the Habs lineup, and maybe we can appreciate what he brings to that team. And you know, Caroline, I was thinking about it today, and I told myself, if Brendan Gallagher were on another team, we'd be happy to trade for him and to have that kind of player during the playoffs. So I think we need to appreciate what he brings to the team, even though he doesn't score a lot of goals. So hopefully the Canadiens can be back on track, because the Ottawa Senators behind them are really winning a lot of games, and things are going to be hard for the Habs for the rest of the season.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. He is the heart and soul of the team, and everybody wants to see him. It was just kind of curious as to how that was developing. Let's talk about some other stuff that happened off the ice over the weekend with referees being attacked by parents.
2 different referees. One happened in Lac-Etchemin, another one happened in Beauce, and in both cases, it was referees being attacked. Here you can see one referee. We don't have the details, but some medias are talking about a parent who attacked a referee in Junior B. I mean, come on, this is Junior B. We're not talking about any professional sport or anything. And what can be more important than the safety of a referee or safety in sports? And what kind of example you're giving as an adult if you're attacking a referee for a hockey game? And in the other case, it was a 15-year-old that was attacked by an adult, and the police officers had to protect that kid, that child. I mean, 15 years old. So I think there's a lot of things we need to tackle and to talk about in hockey. It's been ages since we've talked about that, starting talking about the violence in hockey, not just on ice, but also in the stands. And now I think that we're really crossed the line. And do we have to play hockey in front of empty stands? If we have to do it, we'll have to do it, because sports is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to help us become better citizens and evolve as citizens, and not be the source of violence like we saw during the weekend. So it's really sad to see that.
Yeah, very disturbing indeed. And let's end off with the Grand Prix. It was in Shanghai this weekend, and Max Verstappen and a couple of other of the drivers had something to say about the rules. What's going on there?
6 drivers didn't make it to the end. Some, as the McLaren couldn't even start the race. There's been a lot of rule changes. We talked about it last week, and a lot of drivers don't like the new rules, but a lot of fans do like the new rules. Why? Because there seems to be some kind of competition more than we used to see. And I understand Max Verstappen, who doesn't like the new cars, but a lot of fans like the fact that just because you win the qualification doesn't mean that you'll end up on the podium, meaning that there can be a lot of changes and there's a lot of actions on track. And a lot of fans like that. And I have to disagree with Max Verstappen, who says that fans who like the new rules and the new format and everything don't know anything about racing. Well, I tend to disagree with him, because the reason why there's a sport, it's because it's entertainment. And if it's entertaining, fans will be there. So I think the drivers will probably push for some more changes, maybe bring back a little bit more of the human factor in the races. But right now, the entertainment is really top tier. So I don't see things changing for the next few weeks.
Okay. Thanks so much, Meeker. Great to see you, as always.
Thanks. Have a good show. Talk to you soon.
The FIFA World Cup of Soccer is 87 days away, not that anyone's counting, of course. Today, Canada's home and away jerseys were unveiled. Canada will wear a two-tone red jersey at home and a black kit with a white pattern on the road. Toronto and Vancouver are the two Canadian host cities. The U.S. and Mexico are co-hosts for the tournament, which begins June 11th. National team player Richie Larea says he expects a lot of Canadian pride.
There's so many different cultures, ethnicities, everything that you see, I think makes Canada what Canada is. So I think having everyone here, having everyone no matter where their origins are from, also is Colombian, I'm from Ghana. So it's like, you know, all these people need to come together and put on Canadian jerseys come June 12th for us, because it's going to be special. It's a big moment for our country. I think the hype around it has been very good, and yeah, I think everyone's excited. These kids are excited. I'm excited. Everyone here is excited. So I think we just need to all really pull together and support this team, because I think it can be a very special tournament for us.
And Ottawa is giving Canada Soccer $300,000 to expand youth programs ahead of the World Cup. And still to come, a trip down memory lane for toy lovers over a certain age.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
Increasing number of abandoned buildings.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVMontreal.ca, your home for news. For breaking news and local news that matters to you, download the CTV News app right now by scanning the QR code on your screen using your smartphone. Or you can also go to our website, ctvnewsmontreal.ca.
What toys did you play with as a child? The city of Ottawa held a nostalgia and collectible toy show over the weekend, with some going back over a century. Here's Camille Wilson.
I get flashbacks when I see all the old toys and records and everything else around.
A walk down memory lane at the Ottawa Nostalgia and Collectible Show. For Jason Sakely, it's all about adding to his growing collection.
I have 3,500 CDs, mainly vinyl CDs and cassettes.
But it's one character specifically he's on the hunt for.
Always looking for this guy, as you can see, kind of always repping him. So yeah, Creature from the Black Lagoon, he's a Universal monster from 1954. Been obsessed with him since a little child, and now I'm in my 50s and still looking for him.
More than 50 dealers at the show with thousands of authentic and hard-to-find collectibles.
We brought a lot of different kinds of nostalgia, like early advertising, toys, paperwork that relates to different things that people collect, railroad things.
Back in the day. This family spotting toys from their childhood.
We wanted to show Elliot some of our toys that we played with when we were little.
When you see people in here, they're looking for things from the past, and maybe they're not even buying them, but they're touching them and saying, do you remember this back in the 1950s?
And items to remember late family members.
Because my father's name was Joe Patterson. Just kind of neat seeing the full name.
Pieces from all across the country and the world dating back to the early 1900s.
It's nostalgic, like we hadn't seen these in years.
I feel a little old, but it's kind of cool to see, and kind of wishing that I'd hung on to a few things from back then.
In most cases, you're likely to score 1 or 2 special finds.
But I already have it. That's the problem. I already have this one, but the price was right, so I got another one. Because one day I'm going to have to sell one of them, and if I have a backup, I'm good.
The biannual show returns in the fall, October 18th. Camille Wilson, CTV News.
And that will do it for us tonight. For the latest news, you can listen to the Andrew Carter Morning Show at 5 o'clock on CJ 8800. And of course, you can always head to ctvnewsmontreal.ca for extended coverage. Thanks for staying up late with us. Have a good night, and we'll see you again tomorrow.